This is a regular meeting of the Mobile City Council, Tuesday, May 17th. Please stand for our invocation led by Reverend Dan Wagner, Canon Pastor, Christ Church Cathedral, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. O Lord, our great governor, bless all the leaders of our nation. Bless the elected officials, the public servants, the members of the press, and the citizens all assembled here this morning. We humbly ask that we may be a people at peace among ourselves and be a blessing to other nations throughout the world. We pray for your Spirit to guide us in our everyday lives, and most especially today we pray for your Spirit to guide the decision-making of this body for the betterment of our beloved city of Mobile. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. President Gregory.
Here.
Vice President Richardson.
Here.
Councilmember Manzi.
Here.
Councilmember Small. Councilmember Williams. Councilmember Daves.
Here.
Councilmember Rich.
Here.
Statement of rules.
Good morning, everybody. Good to see you here. A couple of our council members are absent today. One is just out of town. The other is across the atrium over there doing his jury duty. The mayor is also traveling. You may have heard that he is in Cuba, so we look forward to getting a good report on his trip to Cuba. A lot of us have been before, so it will be interesting to hear how things have changed since our last trips. So thank you again for being here. Our rules of the council are very simple. We just ask everyone to please turn off all of your electronic devices. If you come to the podium to speak, you'll have 5 minutes. At the end of 4 minutes, you'll hear the buzzer, which is the indication that you need to go ahead and wrap up your comments. If you have a question, please direct those to me. I'm the chair, and I'll ask the appropriate member of the administration staff or council member to resolve the issue at that time. And please do give us your name and address for the record, as always. You know, we've had a lot going on in the city of Mobile, as always. Last Friday, we officially opened a new amenity at Langan Park. It's the skate ramp. It was so great to see folks out there, kids and adults, already using the skateboard ramp. And I want to thank again our sheet metal workers who built the ramp, and especially the apprentices who did all the work and installed it. It was really great to see this partnership with our sheet metal workers and those youngsters who put it together for us. At today's meeting, we will move forward on a number of really important drainage repair projects across our city, and we take up a new one today that's in Mr. Dave's district. He's been pushing that along with some more work that we will start looking at on the cruise terminal and work on our athletic fields. We're going to acknowledge some students that are here today. We have a number of students with us. Mrs. Rich will have a proclamation on that. And we also want to make note that this is National Police Week. It's a time when we honor all of those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice. And we'd also like to use this as a time, too, to thank all of the brave men and women of Mobile Police Department who put their lives on the line in service for our citizens every day. We also have a number of our public safety workers here from the fire department. We look forward to hearing from them in just a few minutes and recognizing them for their efforts. This is also National Bike to Work Week. So I'm looking forward to seeing everyone in the city riding their bikes to week. Ms. Lampert, you can lead the charge on that one. It's for the downtown cycling, or it's for the cycling community to help them in their efforts. And this week will be to hold a ride of silence to honor those who've been injured or killed while biking. Much of our capital improvement project work, as you know, has gone to improving our roads and making them safer for cyclists and drivers. And a major goal of our Map for Mobile is also to make the city much more pedestrian and rider-friendly. So we'll keep working on those efforts. On Friday, the Blue Star event takes place at the Battleship. We talked about that last week. Several of us will be reading names at the Vietnam Memorial Wall. You're all invited out for that. And then on Saturday, a really great opportunity is to see the work that has been done at Barton Academy. If you've been by, you know that a lot of exterior work has been done, so now they are ready to open the doors and let you see the work that they have been doing. It starts at 10 o'clock and runs until noon, so everybody's invited out to Barton Academy to see those improvements. Finally, this is just one for my district. I'm excited that our new shade structures are being built in 2 parks. We have these shade structures throughout most of our playgrounds, and as you know, it gets really, really hot during the summertime and makes it difficult for the children to be able to play on the different swings and slides. So shade structures are very important, and 2 of them will be under construction very soon, one at Langen and one at McCants Chambers Park. So with that, I will turn it over to Ms. Lambert.
Approval of minutes of May 10th.
So move.
Second?
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Communications from the mayor's office.
The mayor, as I mentioned, is traveling, so there aren't going to be any announcements, but I'm going to turn to Mrs. Rich, who has a proclamation.
Great.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Whoever else would like to join us. Come on down. Wait, y'all need teachers? Y'all can get down.
I'm going to do it.
Great. Anyone else coming? Okay. I was very excited to hear about this program. And with me today are PACE students and their teacher, Miss Janet Lefford from Dodge Elementary School. And they are promoting the awareness of Constitution Week, which is September 17th through the 23rd in 2016 throughout the city, and they are encouraging others to hold a bell ringing ceremony on Friday, September 16th, 2016 at exactly 2 p.m. And whereas this marks the 229th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention, and whereas the National Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution started the tradition of celebrating the Constitution in 1955 by petitioning Congress to annually designate the 17th of September through the 23rd as Constitution Week, which became Public Law 915 on August 2nd, 1956, when signed by President Dwight D. Eisenhower. And whereas they also erected the only structure in tribute to the Constitution, DAR Constitution Hall, Performing Arts Center in Washington, D.C. And whereas our Constitution stands as a testament to the tenacity of Americans throughout history to maintain their liberties and freedoms and to ensure the inalienable rights of every American. And whereas it is fitting and proper to officially recognize the magnificent document of human liberty, the anniversary of its creation, and to protect the freedoms set forth in the Bill of Rights. Now therefore I, Bess Rich, council member of District 6, along with the mayor and all the members of the Mobile City Council, do hereby proclaim today, Tuesday, May 17th, 2016, as Constitution Week Awareness Day in Mobile, and I urge all citizens to join us to celebrate the freedoms that this important document has given to us. I just want to thank you for being here. Do you have anything you'd like to add, Ms. Leffler?
Well, I wasn't, but I think I will. Thank you so much. Part of this, the reason this is happening now instead of September is there's going to be networking throughout the state of Alabama, we hope the nation, to come together and everyone, every denomination, every citizen, ring bells at 2 o'clock next year. We have received word that the official event can be held at the USS Alabama at Battleship Park, ringing the ship's bell that's next to the pavilion. So of course you will be receiving word from the Dodge Elementary students, and we'll further work with y'all, but it's exciting. We know that we have some other elected officials that will be helping in Alabama, but that is why this is not in September. It would be hard to pull together a big party like this in like 3 days. So I did want to explain that and why. And I appreciate Ms. Rich being so excited, and for students to be able to come and see the government process. We have worked at learning about that some, and they'll learn more in middle school as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, there's those two pictures. Oh, okay.
Now the glasses come off.
I'll gather around. We're gonna ring that bell on the 16th.
Lots of
right?
bells.
I think we ought to have all church bells ringing at 2 o'clock on that date.
Great. Thank you. Thank you.
So send me an email, tell me how I'm going to get in touch with every church, because I've started a list, but I don't want to miss any church that still has bells.
We can get that for you.
Okay.
They have to go back to school. I have a proclamation for Emergency Medical Services Week. Going to ask Assistant Chief Pappas if he would come up, along with some of the crew.
Deputy Chief King, two of our medics, Stephen Daniels, Brent Rogers.
Y'all can come on in.
We're going to do the proclamation.
No, no.
We're going to do the proclamation, then we'll do the
Okay, all right. All right, first I have a proclamation. All right. Whereas emergency medical services is a vital public service, and its emergency medical services teams are ready to provide life-saving care to those in need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And whereas access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rate of those who experience sudden illness or injury. And whereas emergency medical services has grown to fill a gap by providing important out-of-hospital care, including preventative medicine, follow-up care, and access to telemedicine. And whereas the emergency medical services system consists of first responders, emergency medical technicians, paramedics, emergency medical dispatchers, firefighters, educators, administrators, pre-hospital nurses, emergency physicians, trained members of the public, and other out-of-hospital medical care providers. That's a lot. And whereas the members of emergency medical services teams, whether career or volunteer, engage in thousands of hours of specialized training and continuing education to enhance their life-saving skills. And whereas it is appropriate to recognize the value and the accomplishments of emergency medical services providers by designating Emergency Medical Services Week. Now, therefore, we, the members of the Mobile City Council, along with the mayor, do hereby proclaim May 15th through the 21st as Emergency Medical Services Week here in the city of Mobile. So I just want to congratulate you all and give you this proclamation. Who am I giving? Oh, there you go. We also have one more recognition to provide, and then we're going to get some pictures. So if you will.
Very briefly, as part of Emergency Medical Services Week, the Mobile Fire Department has been recognized by the American Heart Association for the quality of the care being rendered before hospital. In 2015, over 35,400 times, a citizen in our community picked up a phone and dialed 911. They had a situation that they couldn't handle at the time, so they called for us, the men and women of Mobile Fire Rescue. As part of that, we see traumatic victims, we see a wide variety of medical issues. But one that's really critical and one that medical science has stepped forward and can make a major impact on mortality and morbidity is emergency cardiac care. And I'm going to let Dr. Hashimi get into the details of this for you and explain what's going on. Dr. Weil Hashimi with Cardiology Associates.
In dealing with the heart, time is life. And being able to make the diagnosis quickly is a critical factor in terms of whether or not somebody's going to survive or pass away from a heart attack. And in coordinating care that begins outside of the hospital by EMS, by being able to get EKGs for us, transmit the EKGs which will make the diagnosis of a heart attack, which then actually sets into motion a whole series of events that will allow a patient to come into the hospital and actually have an artery opened within 90 minutes of the time that they pick up the phone is a daunting task. I can tell you that when I first saw the ACC/AHA guidelines come out about 8 years ago, and 90 minutes was the benchmark time, I thought this was ridiculous. I mean, there's no way to mobilize that many people that quickly in order to save a life, and never thought it could be done. I can tell you that we're doing it now. I think our fastest time's within 17 minutes. Our average is 51 minutes from diagnosis till the time we get it. Now, we could not do that at all without rapid response from EMS, without having them on the scene, making the correct diagnosis, getting the EKGs done in a timely manner, transmitting them, and then working its way up the chain through the hospital. So I think this is an exemplary award that's given out by the American Heart Association. And basically, the EMS has met benchmarks that are very, very difficult to meet, and they've done this now 2 years in a row. And I can tell you that for them to be able to do that, to save the hundreds, if not thousands, of lives of Mobile citizens is something that I think as a community we need to be very proud of. So, this is the award from American Heart Association.
I just want to introduce part of the team that is here today. Dr. John McMahon is our medical director. Ann Eubanks is with Spring Hill Memorial's Cardiology Center, the cath lab. They're a key component. Chief Myron Keems, our deputy chief of emergency medical services. Hiding somewhere is Jack Busby. He is the district chief in EMS, and this has kind of been his brainchild for the last 2 years. He is pushed and cajoled, and at the state and local levels, pushing the department and pushing us forward. And it's not just, we have the right tools, we have the high-tech equipment, but getting the people trained, getting them focused to do this is what has resulted. And this is basically this team's result is something like this. The bottom line is more people are alive today than not in the last 2 years, and they should be applauded.
Come down here, let's see if we can hold up both of your. Okay, we got everything. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Adoption of the agenda.
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Appeals, we have requests for a waiver of the noise ordinance on May 28th on Boterra Drive West, May 19th on South Georgia Avenue, May 20th and 21st on Wildwood Drive, May 19th on Aaron Drive, May 21st on Burtonwood Drive.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Public hearings. Today is a public hearing to determine if the structure at 2916 Gaslight Lane South is a public nuisance and order it repaired or demolished.
All right, this is a public hearing. If there's anyone in the audience who would like to speak to this, please come down to the podium. All right, with that then, the public hearing is closed.
Presentation of petitions and other communications to the council.
Before we do that, I want to recognize our students, our other students who are here with us today. They're from Corpus Christi Leadership Group, and they're just here to observe the meeting. So welcome, it's good to have you here.
And that is in District 6, by the way. Thank you for being here.
All right, thanks. Ms. Lambert.
Mario Yao. Jasper Moore.
Moving right along.
All right.
Okay. Resolutions held over. 01322, authorize a special economic development grant agreement with RPI Bel Mall.
Move to hold over for 2 weeks.
Second?
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
21332, authorized contract with Southern Earth Sciences for Ann Street and drainage rehabilitation, and 21334, authorized contract with Volkert for Ann Street and drainage rehabilitation, Section 8.
So moved.
Second, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
21343, authorized contract with McCoy and Williams, 12 Mile Creek Bank Stabilization Repairs, 2016 drainage improvements and repairs, Group B, Luckner Court outfall repairs, and 3 Mile Creek at Bowie Court.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
21335, authorize a professional services contract with Modern Communications Group doing business as Forward Consulting for video management and consulting services, and 21336, authorize a professional services contract with James Bramlett for production of public relations videos.
So moved.
Second, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
21337, authorized professional services contract with Moffitt and Nickel for Mobile Bay Shore Habitat and Acquisition Initiative.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
21338, authorized contract with CBA Design for Mobile Visitor Center Vision Package.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
21339, authorized contract with Bill Smith Electric for the City of Mobile, Alabama cruise terminal improvements, mechanical and electrical.
So moved. Second?
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
21340, authorized contract with Thompson Engineering for proposed Crichton Fire Station Site Phase 2 environmental site assessment.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
47341 and 342, assenting to the vacation of street right-of-ways on the south side of Cottage Hill Road, directly in front of Lot 3 Coastal Subdivision, and for a portion of the right-of-way on Royal Street.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Ordinance is being introduced for the first time, 01022.
Motion to table?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Consent resolutions being introduced for the first time, 37344 through 58346.
Motion for the suspension of rules for immediate consideration of resolutions 37344 through 58346.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
37344, recommend approval to the ABC Board for issuance of a retail beer table wine off-premises only license for Test Convenience on O'Shell Road.
So moved.
Second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
345, declare the structure at 2916 Gaslight Lane South a public nuisance and order it repaired or demolished.
So moved.
Second. Discussion?
Yes.
Ms. Rich?
Thank you very much. I would just like to make the community of Carriage Hills, where this community pool sits, it also is very near Autumn Ridge. It's sort of on the boundaries of both. It was originally put in back in the, I guess, late 60s or early 70s as a community pool, and It stayed community for a few years, then it was purchased by people on the private side to keep the swimming pool in the community active, but for the last 5 to 6 years at least, it's been vacant and becoming a huge public nuisance. The community made me aware of their concerns, being that it holds water and tracks rodents, and now, of course, we know about mosquitoes and Zika virus, so it's a very serious health hazard. And I appreciate the administration doing the due diligence, because I knew it took a lot of time. It was a slow-moving process to try to get it to this point, and look forward to resolve and making the community healthier and in better shape due to the city's volition to get it demolished. And I appreciate the council in supporting those efforts as well. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Anyone else?
Yes, Madam President.
Mr. Richardson?
I am supporting this initiative, 4345. However, this is private property. It is a very promising subdivision, and it would appear to me that someone has abandoned, the property owners abandoned this swimming pool. It's going to have to be, now it's a nuisance to the community. It could be a health hazard, and the city is having to come in to take this out, to abate this. What I don't want to happen is that the city come in and take the pool out, finish it, and create level ground, and then the owner shows up, sell the lot for $60,000 and walk away. What I've tasked the city to do, is the administration to do, is under the Quiet Title Act, since we don't know who the owners are, is to show that we put forth an effort to locate the owners. We advertised it in the newspaper. We put a notice on the property, and we couldn't find the owners. Carry that body information into the court, and under the Quiet Title Act, have the court to give us clear title to the property, and then we sell the property, make our money and a profit also. I don't think we ought to just do this and let somebody come step up and tell them they'll fix it for us now. We're going to step up to the plate. No. I think if we're going to do this, we ought to also go for the property.
All right, thank you. Anyone else?
Well, if I could
Mrs. Rich?
Thank you very much. And I appreciate that, that interest in this. Like I said, it's a very long process. It's the same thing as demolishing a huge apartment complex that becomes a safety hazard. And anything that is a health or safety issue, the city has to take control when there is no ownership. There's lots of property that the city has cleared off and gotten ready, I guess, for someone else to step in if the city sees in its wisdom that that's the right thing to do. Things could become public parks. That's the way a lot of that's done in other cities that have delinquent property that they have to clear off, and they return it back as gardens or park programs. But again, just getting rid of this right now is the expedient nature of it, because of the health hazard that the pool represents. And it's been so long that the residents, I know, will appreciate the city's effort, and I'm sure the city will do whatever is in the city's best interest at the end with this property. So I'm confident that everything will work out to the community and to the city's advantage. So thank you.
All right, anyone else? All right, all in favor? Aye. Opposed?
58-346, declare weeds noxious, Group 1540.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
CIP resolutions being introduced for the first time, 21-347 through 21-348.
Motion for the suspension of rules for immediate consideration of resolution 21-348 and 347 will lay over for 1 week.
Second. Discussion?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Davis?
I would just like to speak for a minute to 21-347, which
Okay.
is authorizing contract to repair Bolton's Branch. This is a very important drainage project for District 5. This creek goes from University to, this part of it goes from University to Azalea Road. It's been in really bad shape for a long, long time. There are residents whose yards back up to Bolton's Branch on both sides of it, both on the north and south sides. Some of them, their yards are caving into the creek. This is a premier drainage project for District 5 in this year's capital improvement plan. As I say, it's a very important project. This will carry over for 1 week in accordance with council rules, but I certainly look for it to be adopted next week. And I'd like to thank our engineering department for their work on this. We've had to advance it significantly. We were just going to do the engineering work this year and not get to the actual construction work, but the rains that we had earlier this spring really significantly deteriorated the creek even further, and we've had to advance this. And again, I'd like to thank our engineering department for taking up this project along under the crush that they're operating under, and I look forward to the council adopting it next week.
All right, thank you. Anyone else?
Yes, Madam President.
Mr. Manzi?
I'd like to speak to 21348,
All right.
which is the gutters and downspouts for the Harmon Recreational Center. This is the beginning of many improvements we look to make not only at Harmon, but at the other 5 community centers in District 2. We've heard from citizens about various issues, and we're working expeditiously to address those issues. So this is the beginning of a process that hopefully will touch every community and recreation center that we have in District 2.
All right. Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Why did we vote?
Oh, no, we were voted.
We voted
that was
on the
just to
one.
Suspend the rules.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, there wasn't an item.
Right, 21348, authorized contract with Thompson Industries
It just took a
for
while to get
Harmon
there.
Recreation Center gutters and downspouts.
So moved.
Okay,
Second.
now, any discussion on this particular one? Mr. Manzi's already,
Well, I can say it again.
no, that's all right. We've heard it already. All right, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay.
Resolutions being introduced for the first time, 21349 through 31355.
By council rules, 21349 through 355 would lay over for 1 week.
Well, there's some that are under 50. Are we allowed to do that?
No, just go ahead and lay them all
We're going to
over.
lay them over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Call for public hearings, 41354, call for public hearing to rezone property at 804 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue, northeast corner of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue and Marmot Street, extending to the southeast corner of Marmot Street and Short Bloodgood Street from R3 and B4 to R2, scheduled June 14th. 41356, call for public hearing to accept public comments on the proposed sidewalk plan for Bitten Spur Road and a transportation alternative program grant application scheduled May 24th.
All right, so
So
moved.
moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Announcements.
Ms. Rich?
Oh, thank you. I just again want to announce the Memorial Day concert out at Medal of Honor Park. That will start at 7 p.m. on Monday, May 30th. Again, it's a patriotic concert, free to the public, and hope that people will come out and enjoy a very nice event. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Richardson?
Yes, I would like to announce that the Tobinville Crichton Redevelopment Committee will be meeting on Thursday, May 26th at the Faith City Cathedral Church, 521 Mobile Street. That's the church on the corner of Mobile Street and Mills Street. This committee met before, and the agreement was that we had an attorney that was going to file the papers to create a 501c3, a nonprofit. Those papers have been filed, and now we're ready to come back and elect officers for the organization and plan for and look at what we plan to do in the future. So I'm going to ask all citizens in the Crichton area and in the Tobinville area that is interested in the development of those communities and want to participate in how these communities are going to evolve in the future, to please come on Thursday night to the Faith City Cathedral Church, 521 Mobile Street. We will start this meeting at 6 o'clock. And I would like to say that last week that I attended the police awards dinner along with council members Bess and Joel and myself attended the dinner, and I was just elated over the progress that's being made in our city by the police department, especially in Precinct 3, where our captain was favorably honored. He had reduced crime by 33%, and Precinct 3 has surfaced as the safest district in the city of Mobile. We are moving forward. The whole city is making progress, and we'd like to give credit to all our police officers and those leaders of the Public Safety Division for doing an outstanding job. That's it.
All right, Mr. Daves?
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to just join Councilman Richardson, and I know Councilwoman Rich, in saying again what a great program it was last week, the Police Department Awards ceremony. It was really very exciting and fulfilling to be there, as so many departments and individual police officers were recognized. A citation was read for each award that was presented, and it is really humbling to be there and listen to what these officers go through day in and day out, the risk to their personal safety, and the even though crime has been reduced, there are still some horrific crimes occurring in this city, many of which you don't hear about, and really I don't think you want to hear about. But our police department, led by Captain Barber and by Admiral Landolt as Public Safety Director, is doing a wonderful job. I commend them all. Thank you, Madam President.
All right, Mr. Manzi.
Well, I was not able to attend the function, but it doesn't lessen my appreciation for all that our first responders do in keeping our community safe. I've gotten some letters as recent as last Friday from an individual who lives in our district who was so appreciative of the response and the reception she received from a police officer in an issue right in her home, similar to our fire department. And so I'm appreciative of all of our employees who get up each and every day to make this city so much better. I had an opportunity to attend a national conference for young elected officials on last week, and one of the things that I heard repeatedly was the level of jealousy amongst them relative to our CIP process, and them being able to see through Facebook and other means how we've been able to really impact communities with sidewalks and resurfaced streets and community center improvements. So we're really blessed and fortunate here in the city of Mobile. That really drove that point home to me, that due to all of the financial restraint we've shown and the fortitude of this council and others to move forward, that we've been able to be so successful in that regard. And I just wanted to make certain that I express my appreciation to the members of this council, to the mayor and his staff, and I know the citizens of our various districts appreciate what's taking place.
Madam President, if I could just follow up on a comment that Councilman Manzi made, and I think his comments are so true. And just to put a very fine point on it, we recently received the CAFR, the city's audited financial statements, and I went back and looked at general fund expenditures for the last 3 years, and our general fund expenditures in 2013 were $204 million. In 2014, $193 million. And in 2015, $190,000. So that's a reduction in general fund expenditures of about $14 million over a 3-year period. It reflects, I think, very creditably upon the administration, all of the departments, the city council. I think the entire team. I would suggest to you that there are very few cities in this country that have been able to reduce general fund expenditures. Now, what that $14 million means is it's all available to go into capital to fund these capital improvement projects. So without that discipline in the general fund, we would not find that we were capable to continue the capital improvement projects that we have at the same level. And again, as always, I would caution everyone that we need to continue to be disciplined in the general fund as we move forward so that we can continue to fund these very, very important capital improvement projects across our city. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. I think you'll find that we are all on the same page on that. Mr. Richardson?
I would just like to say I agree with Councilman Davis 100%. In trying times, you have to, under trying circumstances, you have to use different measures. From 2008 to 2013, we've gone through the worst recession since the Great Depression, and money that was budgeted for one account had to be transferred over to the general fund to run that. So we had lots of issues financially. The unemployment was almost 16%. We just had lots of issues because of the recession. We are in what we call a good period. The city is doing fine economically, and the general fund is looking good. If we hit hard times, that would be a whole different matter. I'm proud that we are in a good time period where we can all the balances in all of our funds we can budget, and everybody can stay in their budget. But when our revenues start falling off, we have to look at what can we do to keep this city moving, and we move revenue around to make sure we keep this city moving. But when we got money in as we budget it, then we can do just what we're doing now.
All right, thank you. I do want to mention what a good job all of our first responders did last Friday during the horrible accident that happened about 4 o'clock last Friday at the Sheffield School of Dance. Both our firefighters and police officers who responded to the call just did a terrific job. I mean, it was a horrible accident, one fatality and a lot of injuries, both children and adults. So our prayers go out to those families. But again, just thank you to everybody who responded to that and helped everyone get through just a nightmare of an event. I also want to announce that on Saturday, I will be presenting a proclamation to a veteran from my district at Hank Aaron Park during the Bay Bears game. He is a veteran, and he gets to throw out the first pitch, and I will be there to present a proclamation to him for his service. He also serves on the Civic Center board, so he also provides service to our city as well, and his name is Johnny Brown, by the way. Any other announcements, discussion? All right, with that then, we are adjourned.
Oh, I know, I understand, but I'm saying it's a reason.